How's it going, everybody? This is the Board Certified Gaming Podcast, the only video games podcast that's also 100% gluten free. That's right, you can eat as much as you want. Today, we're going to be talking about augmented reality.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I tried to let that silence go, and I was just like,
Today, we are talking about augmented reality and virtual reality. We are talking about AR and VR. With me, as
No
always,
VR?
but with me, as always, is my host, Amar,
Hello.
and I'm Andy.
Long time no see.
Yes,
Sorry.
it's been a bit, but we have had some interesting things happen. Before we get into anything, make sure to follow all of the accounts that we have. Check out all the other podcast episodes we have, and share it with as many people as possible. Even if you just met these people, tell them about our podcast. We are available on YouTube.
Tell your
Spotify.
doctor. Yeah.
Tell your doctor.
Your
He's
babysitter.
probably concerned about you, so probably should know that.
I don't know what this mole is, but have you heard the Board Certified Gaming Podcast?
That's what only thing I talk about with my doctor.
You have
is my
AIDS,
podcast.
and yes, actually, I have. I subscribe to them on Spotify.
Yeah. So we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube right now, and SoundCloud if you are into that. I guess I don't know. I don't know where people prefer to listen to.
I've seen a lot of people listening to like music on SoundCloud,
which is weird.
I mean, it's where most like indie artists are, but I've seen people actually using SoundCloud to listen to popular bands.
Which is
it's like just pay the fucking $10.
Spotify is free. Like
basic, yeah.
It's free. It's free.
It's just advertisements.
But yeah,
you might hear us in an advertisement.
You never know. We have a Twitch channel, we have a YouTube channel, we have this nice podcast here. We have a Twitter account and an Instagram account. You can find everything in the description below of this podcast episode and all of our other episodes. They all link to each other, so go check it out. And we also have started a Patreon. If you guys are enjoying the show and want us to keep going or want us to stop, make sure to, check that out and maybe help support us. Then we can do this and keep providing ultimate, great, awesomeness content.
I just got a new cat, so pay for her food.
There you go. Speaking of that, Amar, you got a new cat.
I did get a new cat.
What's that been like? She's playing with the garbage right now.
Well, she was also playing with me earlier. What's the difference?
I'd rather play with the garbage.
I don't know. It's been all right. She's litter trained, which we were kind of talking about before, but...
When are you getting litter trained? That's the real question.
I was hoping to avoid that conversation. Let's say next week. No, I don't. Are cats just like naturally known to just piss and litter, or?
I mean, whenever I see some sand, I really want to take a dump. So I don't know. Maybe it's inside everybody.
Just saying. Oh, and then of course Chewy comes out to bother the shit out of her. So
yeah,
if you hear hissing, if we take breaks,
that's Amar.
I have to stop them from killing each other because introducing a new cat to it. They're getting better. I mean, Chewy now just kind of isn't really as big of a dick. She's just kind of all up in her shit. She's still a dick, though. Yeah.
Once a dick, always a dick.
But she's not really hissing at her now. I think she's just trying to figure out I think by the end of the week, this will turn into exactly what they're doing here, just without the hissing.
Which hopefully they just become best buds like us.
I'm getting used to the whole like her batting at her. I'm like,
yeah, I mean,
whatever.
Whenever I see somebody I don't like, I just bat at them. But then
they're getting really, like she's like up in her shit right now.
Yeah.
She's not hitting her. I don't hear hissing.
They're sniffing each other out.
Do you hear hissing?
No. It's like dogs. Even though dogs are weird because they sniff each other's butts and we're like, oh, hey, I know everything about you.
That's not that much different than how we met, though.
True. But
we were in gym class and I was like...
I sniffed your butt and I knew everything about you.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy.
This guy plays RuneScape. And I'm like, oh, this guy does too.
Yeah.
And he's selling GF.
And he was buying GF. But today we're going to talk about virtual reality and augmented reality. So this is video game technology that has been around for a little bit, but it's still not really accepted in terms of, yeah, this is a thing. Everybody's going to have it. Everybody's going to want it. Like, it's still this weird, like, ugly, cousin that is just like, yeah, that's there, but it's not like really gaming yet. It's like it's put it in a Dave and Buster's. Don't put it in, my living room. But I've tried some of it. It's okay. We're just going to go into some of our thoughts about what we think about it and where we see it going, what we have experienced thus far, what we want to experience, and then there's also some new stuff that's come out in the VR and AR landscape that it's just kind of a state of VR and AR. So Amar,
Hello.
we're going to start with AR because that's a little bit more, I'd say, niche, where it's like it's only on phones right now. There's not really
Very much, yeah.
they tried Google Glass, but that's looked ridiculous, so they're not doing that again. But it's just that for me, AR, everybody thinks, well, here, for everybody who has not heard of either of these, I always think the difference between augmented reality and virtual reality is augmented reality changes your reality, virtual reality puts you in a different one.
Yep.
That's basically the difference. So augmented reality as it stands right now is like you're looking.
It's augmented.
Yeah. You look through your phone or a different device, and then it uses the camera and changes what it sees and augments it.
Yes.
So that's what AR is.
Correct.
And then VR is just like a headset or, something you put on and then you are transported to another
Virtual
world.
reality's been around a while.
It has.
Most notably, didn't exactly start with video games, but
True. Which
started with
what did it start with?
porn.
Well, it didn't start with porn.
I mean, it's
I'm
a
glad it
huge
made its way.
market.
I'm glad it's made its way to porn. It
I
kinda
feel-
makes me want to get a VR, but I'm not.
I feel like VR is very big in
That
porn
would trip
right
me
now.
out way too much.
I
wouldn't know what's happening outside of me, and I always want to
Just-
know
can you
my
imagine just-
surroundings.
just always being hard and nobody knowing who you are.
Yeah,
You're just out in public, just naked,
yeah.
wearing a VR headset.
I mean, I have no idea what's going on outside of me. If I have headphones in and a VR headset on, I'm in a different world.
The wife told me to take out the trash,
Yeah.
but this lady's taking out my trash.
But it is interesting technology that I couldn't have imagined. Like when I was 10, I didn't imagine us having virtual reality headsets. I didn't. I
I did. So
eventually saw it becoming a thing, but I wasn't like, this is something you might be able to buy when you're 20 something.
I remember
I didn't put that
I
together.
went to some festival when I was a kid, and it was like early 2000s. They had some sort of VR thing, but what was weird with this one was you had like the VR headset on and everything was all 8-bit and really shitty graphics,
Yeah.
but they had you walking on a circular treadmill
Okay.
that would kind of go
Yeah.
in different directions. And I just remember playing the game and the guy was trying to tell me the instructions. I'm like, this is not playable.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand what I'm shooting at.
Yeah.
This sucks.
And
I just know I'm walking on a treadmill and I can't see.
unfortunately, like it's only improved a little bit. Like just the graphics have improved, which when I see like the whole, you are strapped into a circle and this circle is attached to like a slippery disc, and then you wear special shoes and you can run in place on the disc, and then you carry a gun and then or a controller and you have the headset on. That's what I think takes people out. That's what I think people are like, absolutely not. I am not into that, because it's going to be super expensive to buy 17 different pieces just to have this kind of VR experience in your house.
Right.
And then it's like, I'm going to look completely ridiculous if I do that. And then I can't even do it by myself, because that's going to be, that's a hazard. That's dangerous. It's not really worth it either.
So you have a PSVR, right?
I do, and I've tried it before.
How is it? I've never tried one. I've seen people say good things, bad
It's
things.
interesting.
Is it clunky? Is it as clunky as I think it is?
So it's interesting because that's my first VR experience,
Sure.
where I am more of it's hard for me to suspend my disbelief sometimes, where it's like, yeah, it does it, because it's like you are now, the only thing you see is what's going on, and then you have your controllers that just appear as hands.
And it's just the PlayStation Move controllers, right?
Yeah. It's those ugly dildos with the giant glowing balls on them. Super ugly. Super ugly. But that's what it is. And when you're in it, it's very like, okay, this is cool. Like I could do this. It also is like, I have a hard time suspending my disbelief. So it's like, clearly I know I'm in a game.
Right.
Like I know this is VR. I'm clearly holding a controller like this, and it's supposed to react like hands, which it doesn't, because it's like I am holding a stick, and it's like that's not what my hands are doing in the game. Like you have to click the triggers to close your hands.
What game were you playing?
There's like an intro VR worlds, it's called, and there's like
Okay.
7 different games you can do. One's like just you tilt your head and then you can like hit a
Should
ball.
bring that over
Another
one of
one's
these
like
days so I can try it
yeah, we
out.
should.
Do you have Beat Saber?
No.
I heard that one was
That
good.
looks super fucking complicated, and I do not have enough rhythmic coordination to be able to do that.
Well, then I'll buy it.
And it's what I want it to be is not what it actually is.
Yeah, it's still early.
But I mean, so my main point is that it's a really cool device. It's not worth the money you pay because there's not enough games really to justify it. There are probably now,
Right.
but a lot of the games out now
I think
are
it's
just
still pretty limited.
a lot of the games out now are just like, hey, you liked Fallout, now you can play it but in VR. And I'm like, okay,
It's the
well,
same
I'm
game,
still
it's just-
using a controller to run around. Now it's just like I look at it.
It's like first person, but I'm
Yeah.
sitting closer to the
It's
TV.
like I don't give a shit. And then that's the thing. You need to have a whole entire living room of like not bumping into shit. You need to move. You need to make sure to have the camera up on the TV so you can like it catches you. And that thing is the PlayStation camera. It needs like a whole giant like space in front of it.
Sure.
And it's like, okay, I'm trying this in my bedroom. I don't have a ton of room. So it's like I needed to go to a completely different room to set it up. I feel nervous as hell by myself. You need to wear headphones. And it's like, and you're not even like when you're going from playing a console, like I am playing with a controller, just staring at a TV, it's a completely different experience, which is what they're going for.
Right.
But it's not like the thing from Black Mirror where the people just put that little device on their head and then they just click the button, they say enter game, and then they just get in. And then
Right.
they're just like transported, their mind is transported to the game. Like that's what people think it should be or it's going to be, but it's not at all.
Right.
And it's like, okay, this is really like elementary, which I can see it going that way. I can see it getting to be that point eventually, and then Black Mirror is basically a fortune teller for this for us. Everything that they predict is going to happen, but I can see it getting to the point where where our brains are used instead of just like it's kind of tricking your eyes, which is what it's all virtual reality is right now, is tricking your eyes into thinking it's something, because you're literally have no exposure to anything else because it's blocking your vision and only giving you this screen.
Right.
So it's like I have no idea what's going on outside. I just can see what's in my field of vision.
I haven't tried it. I want to, just for the sake of trying it. I heard Resident Evil's good on there, but I'm not really trying to shit myself.
Yeah, I'm not trying to play scary games.
Beat Saber. I don't know. VR is just one of those things with me where I wouldn't like freak out if somebody bought me it for Christmas.
Yeah.
Not really something I'd go out and buy myself, because I do get motion sick easily from the Samsung VR that I've done.
And once you take it off, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I get slight motion sickness, and I don't know. I guess I'm just a traditionalist where I would rather just sit down in front of a
that's the
TV
thing.
and play on a, like that's why I don't even do a lot of PC gaming, because the whole mouse and keyboard, I sit in front of a mouse and keyboard for 40 hours a week, and I do schoolwork. I do PC gaming here and there, but I can't commit myself to sitting in front of anything but a controller and a television.
I mean, that's the thing, is that it's kind of a gimmick right now. Like it's kind of a party trick.
It's in its early stages.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Wii.
It's in the right direction.
It's like, here's this new thing that people can like, it's this brand new experience with gaming, but a lot of people are like, okay, this is fun for like a half an hour.
But the reason
and
why
then
the
I'm done.
Wii was so successful is because Nintendo knew how to not only market its console, but knew how to work with it. So a lot
and
of
there was nothing else like it.
Right. There were a lot of great first party consoles or first party titles for Nintendo that came out that really utilized what the Wii was meant to be for.
True.
Like you're playing games like Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess or Super Mario Galaxy.
I
like,
played Call of Duty 3 on it. I remember.
even stuff like that.
Wii Sports it by itself. Like the free game you get with it was.
And I think the problem with the PSVR right now is I'd say it's successful, but it's
what it is.
It's not one of those things like when the next, when the PS5 comes out, it's not going to be one of those things where people are going to be rushing out to be like, I need to see if this thing is backwards compatible, because most people that have a VR are probably going to be like, oh, that's right, I have a VR.
Yeah, which I'm wondering if you can just
how do you connect it? Is it wired or is it Bluetooth?
It is wired, which is a thing that they're trying to do with VR in general. So at first it started with here's this giant
Is
box.
it a USB wire?
It fits. It slots right into the front, so there are two USB
So the
spots
USB.
in the
So
PS4.
yeah, they'll probably release some update when the PS5 launches. That's just
Yeah.
going to let you plug and play.
Which what they're starting with is this giant clunky thing with wires, and you can tell they're improving because they're trying to slim down the system. They're trying to make it as less of a as minimally cumbersome as possible. Like, so you're not wearing this gigantic helmet and then you're like this super heavy thing on your head. And they're trying to get rid of wires. And then what I found is, so Oculus is the big one, the big fish in the VR game. They kind of started it all. Like, they were like, hey, here's this new thing that we've been working on. They got bought by Facebook. They got tons of money and they're just throwing it into their Oculus VR system.
When did Facebook acquire
A couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I must
So they got Facebook money now, which
a lot.
Zuckerberg, come on the pod,
No thanks.
You want to talk to him?
Nope.
I want to talk to him.
Nope.
I want to talk to him.
The
just
guy already
because I
knows
have
more
some
than
questions,
enough.
and I want him to talk to my grandma and help her with his.
The guy has
Facebook.
more than enough access to my personal life. I don't need him actually in my fucking apartment.
That's true. We don't even need to tell you to get on the pod. You already have probably heard the pod, so
probably.
So, Oculus is actually were the first one, I think, maybe not the first one, but the first one to get rid of the wires, and then now, which I think is a huge step, they have hand tracking on the VR headset. So now with you just wearing the headset, which is wireless, it'll track your hands. And then you are actually using hands hands in the thing, which is what takes me out.
Well, here's my question is, with it going wireless, what is the game running off of? It's not running off of the headset. So PSVR, say if it was...
assuming Bluetooth.
So is there latency issues?
I doubt there's many online games for it right now.
I'm not talking about online. I'm talking about the latency from the console that's running the game.
Which I'm saying most of the power is spent making sure there is limited latency problems. So it's like this connects about as well as a Bluetooth speaker does.
Okay.
Which you press play on a phone connected to a Bluetooth
speaker. Yeah, but that's just
cool.
converting audio. So that's not as demanding.
Which is
as
what I'm saying. Most of the power is spent. Hey, here is this thing that you can do, and then it might be like a really powerful sensor that picks it up. Mm-hmm. That it's like, this is what you plug into the game. It's not just connected to your place,
right?
Because I'll be honest, I don't know. I've never used an Oculus. I don't know what it connects to. If it's like fine on its own, I always knew it as a dev kit, so it's just like developers can use it, create games for it, and then. I don't know how
we should just go halves on one and just fuck around with
that. Sounds really cool. Like the controllers,
$400.
The controllers are ugly as hell. So there's those.
I can't imagine that
they're the sticks with the weird rings on them, and I don't like those. They're ugly. I don't want to have to use controllers, which is why I'm super pumped about hand tracking. Because now my hands are hands.
Oculus Quest, no PC, no wires.
And I mean, it's
so the Oculus Rift goes off of the PC, is what it
probably,
does.
Which makes tons of sense. So that there's got to be minimal latency if you're connecting to your computer. Minimal.
If you're directly connected, yes. But when you're
even then,
I mean, wireless, you're always going to have some latency issues, but
which is fine. It's probably not the in the early beginnings of this. That was probably a problem they foresaw, and we're like, okay, well, what's going to be the latency problem if we want to get rid of wires? And then like, okay, well, here's the fix. And then they did it.
Those are really weird.
They're really ugly controllers. They're garbage.
How do you?
Yeah, which is why I'm super happy that they have hand tracking.
Are human hands even shaped like
They're
that?
not. Which is it's supposed to be like ergonomics. You can hold on to it and then hit all the buttons so you can remember where they are. Where it's like triggers on the back so you know what you're doing, and then like buttons in the front, and then like move them around. And I think the rings are so you don't hit stuff. Pretty sure. Like Wiles put ugly ass rings on them. But what I think everybody, this is kind of a whole new point, but what I think people think VR is right now is the cheap Samsung headset they can get to buy, and then it's like, oh, that's VR. I'm doing VR, and it's like, no, you're not. You are basically holding your phone really close to your face, which I don't think is good. Like, your phone gives off small amounts of radiation, It's not, lethal doses of radiation, but it should not be the closest to the most important thing in your meat suit, your head. Like, I don't think you should be just basically keeping your phone where glasses should be. Like, that's not a good idea. But
Well, and
that's
Oculus
but that's
also
the most
powers those too.
I know. And which VR as a whole,
For the Samsung ones, at least what I'm looking
the
at.
health issues of VR haven't really been looked into, and I'm sure there are multiple things where it's like, yeah, this will fuck up your eyes.
Yeah, but we're gamers. We don't care.
We don't care. My eyes are already bad.
It's called Tylenol. Right? I will tough it out.
Yeah, rub some dirt on it.
I know my head hurts. It's 8 a.m., okay?
But I feel like the Samsung Gear, I think it's called.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Gear VR.
Yeah.
Powered by Oculus. Yep.
It
Trying to just see the price.
That's what everybody thinks VR is when they're like, oh yeah, I can afford that. It was cool. That's VR.
And I played that when I worked at AT&T, so I
seems
played
interesting, but it would bore the hell out of me.
It's cool, but the problem is the games that they were demoing, that the Samsung rep was demoing, there was like this, it's like a Wild West like shooter, and you're shooting zombies. And
how are you controlling that?
There's like an actual
they have
almost like
controller.
a remote.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's a dumbed down version of the Oculus.
But they're basically Google Play Store games that are in VR.
Which is,
you're not playing Borderlands 3 on this thing.
But it's affordable. It's what people will think, which hopefully like an Oculus becomes like, hey, here's $100.
Yeah, that's what the controller looks like.
Ew, that looks terrible.
It's a lot more ergonomic than what it looks like the fucking Oculus one is.
It looks like a nunchuck from Wii.
Just small. It looks like a TV remote.
I mean, what I hope is that if VR becomes super popular, it's going to become cheaper. And then people are going to make a ton of games for it. It's going to be this whole big experience. But if it remains expensive because nobody really wants it, it's like a niche crowd of like, hey, I have all my games, but then there's this game I can play in VR that I don't really, like, okay. Beat Saber is an example. It's like, I have no urge to play it, but it's like, I like knowing it's there. I like knowing the ability to play a game like that is there.
I think the VR one for Samsung too is meant more, not for games, but more for visual
it's
video.
Like watching stuff.
Coworker of mine, when I worked at Pizza Hut, delivery driver, he purchased a new Samsung phone, so they gave him the VR headset for free.
All it is like a plastic holster.
Pretty much.
That's all it is.
Yeah, and I tried that one out too, which was kind of cool. Like, so you can actually put up a movie. It seems like it would be if you took your phone like this, but there's enough space. I would say it's about like this far away.
Jeez.
No.
He's like half a foot from his face.
Yeah, and it kind of like zones out and like dims the brightness too, so that way it's not just like burning your cornea.
Yeah,
but it was kind of cool. He like popped on like some random movie, and I don't know, it was kind of interesting. You could literally set it to like, hey, I'm sitting in the woods watching a movie, and you could turn your head around and look.
So the thing that's gonna get me is games. I think, like if there's just like, man, because that's the only thing that'll get me to get a console. If there's like 6 different games where I'm like, I really want those 6 games.
Can you play Skyrim in VR now?
I hope so.
I think that's one of the.
I think Bethesda's really like, here you can play Fallout, here you can play Doom, here you can play
Skyrim on literally everything.
I would not be surprised. But
because you play it on your Amazon Alexa.
If there's like 6 different games where I'm like, I need to get that system because I want to play all of those games, and there's only one way to do it. Like right now, there's been a couple things in the news that have come out. So there's a new Medal of Honor game for VR, World War II Medal of Honor for VR.
Ooh,
right. There's an Iron Man VR.
Can we get a regular World War II Medal of Honor, like not for VR?
Which I think they're putting all of their eggs in a weird basket. But
can you imagine Medal of Honor Frontline VR? You get PTSD
and you're
when
on
you
Normandy.
finish.
God damn. I'm glad
I would have
they're
PTSD.
doing it. I hope that's what they're doing.
You would have PTSD.
But Respawn is making it.
Ooh.
It's gonna be good. It's really gonna be good. I was like, damn. And I want it for the Iron Man simulator. You can be Iron Man in VR. And I'm like, do I really want a VR headset? Because before they were all games, it's like, okay, you can shoot a gun at a gun range. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Right.
And then you tilt your head and then hit stuff using your head. And I'm like, all right, fine. I guess I can also do that at a Dave & Buster's. Like, I'm not breaking any barriers.
I can also eat chicken wings while I'm at a Dave & Buster's.
And I can get drunk and eat barbecue wings at Dave & Buster's, and it's the same experience.
Should we go to Dave & Buster's after this?
I feel like we should go to Dave & Buster's.
We should definitely go to Dave &
Buster's.
Buster's.
Sponsor the pod. We'll go.
Literally.
But that's what it makes, like, it either you think it's going to be a valuable addition to gaming and a fixture in gaming, or you think it's going to be, just relegated to a Dave and Buster's, to where it's like, this is cool, but it's only when I want to get drunk after work and hit on that nice chick from accounting. Like, that's it.
It's funny that you assume that there are nice chicks in accounting.
They're there, man. You got to find them. Okay. Just like an accountant, you got to look through the numbers and they check out. But for me personally, it's the latter right now. It is a party trick to me. It is it's like the Kinect. The Kinect died a slow death.
Yeah.
Not a slow death, a quick death. That thing was cut out.
No, it was a slow
right
death
away.
because they know that. So they introduced that with the Xbox 360.
Things,
they were still pushing that when the Xbox One came out too. They were like, you could say Kinect,
I guess.
Xbox on.
I guess I took it in the grand scheme of gaming. It's quick death.
It was a quick death for gaming, but Microsoft really...
They tried because they put so much money into it and so much effort into the Kinect. And it's like, I remember seeing a commercial that they tried to use it for like a presentation and all this other stuff. And I'm like, no one's going to use that.
No.
Like, and if it's not that, it's just a camera.
Like the PlayStation
Move.
motion
cameras.
The PlayStation Move was shot down quickly, but the only reason why the PlayStation Move is even remotely talked about is because now you have PSVR.
Yeah, which, I mean, I don't know if it's going to die, but I don't think it's going to do what they hope it does.
Right.
In terms of be like this giant, everybody's got one in their living room. I don't think it's going to be that.
No.
Because it's just too niche of a thing at this point. And then people I've wanted since I was a kid to be put inside of my favorite video games. There's a Jimmy Neutron episode where they they have a giant game pyramid and then they put their favorite game in and then they just get teleported into the game.
Right.
I wanted that. I still want that. But now VR is the only thing we get. And I'm like, okay, well, this isn't that. So, that's a really unrealistic thing to put on game developers.
True.
Put me in a game, like, obviously. But
Sidebar, Michelle's probably writing right now that she can't wash her feet at volleyball because the hose was turned off because it's getting cold out.
You play beach volleyball in October?
I'm playing in winter too.
She can also get water.
Are you outside or inside?
Outside.
Right now I'm outside in winter.
Ooh.
She can also get
Ew.
water, like a water bottle, and then wash her feet with it
Okay.
after.
Well, your thing about feet is
I just don't want sand in my
documented.
apartment. You dick.
I don't want sand everywhere. Sand gets everywhere, but if it's localized to her feet, go ahead. No problem. But
So,
that's our
that's
feet
VR.
tangent. But going back to AR, because we have neglected AR, just like everybody else has.
So a quick tidbit that I really want to discuss about AR.
Yeah.
I will not name names, but if anybody listens to it, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When I worked at AT&T, we had a certain area director. Again, I'm not naming names.
Yeah.
But when the iPhone, I can't remember if it was the 8 or the 10 launched, but it was one of the iOS 12 or 11 where AR was going to be like a big thing. This guy had such a huge fucking boner for AR. So our job was sales, right? You sell cell phones.
You sell the phone. You don't sell the AR capability.
Literally, there wasn't a single person, young or old.
What's your best phone for AR?
There wasn't a single person, young or old, that came through my store and wanted to do anything related to AR or even gave a fuck. But this dude was like, so yeah, I can like, you and your friends like kind of show the little AR like on the table, right? So like I'm attacking and I can have a friend over there. I was like, my friends aren't virgins.
Yeah, they don't
like
care.
All of my friends have seen guy or girl, regardless of your preference, have seen somebody naked.
Yeah, they have
that wasn't themselves.
Priorities are in different places.
Yeah.
VR is not one of them.
It's
Which I mean, it's cool that that's a thing. Like this is a deep cut. I remember wanting AR because Cookie's glasses on Ned's Declassified.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted Google.
Well, that's
Glass
what Google. Yeah, that's what Google Glasses
which
is supposed to be.
Like I think the first foray into AR. I'm sure there are other ones, But like
I just wanted to cheat on tests.
I did too, and I wanted to just have a computer in my glasses because I wear glasses now. And I'm
Right.
like, that would have been dope to have. But and printer pants. I remember printer pants.
Printer pants. Cookie was ahead of his time, man.
He was, and like that's what I remember AR being. And then Pokemon Go came out, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is like I get what this is.
Well, and they had a game before Pokemon Go that was augmented reality. I forgot. I got to look that up now.
I'm sure there was.
They had one, and that's why they got reached out to.
Well, yeah,
about
that's why
doing-
Pokemon Go became a thing because they're like, hey, we did it with this other game, and now we want to put Pokemon in it, which I think was a success. And then they did it with Harry Potter Go, whatever the hell that was.
Which is just funny though, because in regards to the augmented reality aspect of it, is like especially with Pokemon Go, I turned off the AR
it was
feature.
boring. I turned off. I was like, this is so weird having to
Ingress-
keep it stable.
Ingress Prime is what the
Okay.
previous game was called. So they made Ingress Prime, and then they made Pokemon Go, and then they made Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
Yeah.
But still, it was one of those things where, like, yeah, it was cool to be like, oh, look, there's a Pikachu on my
Yeah,
living room
I
table.
caught
But then
it.
it's fucking
it's on my
annoying
dick
to
right now.
Yeah, it's annoying to sit there.
And you have to keep it stable.
They did. There was somebody that had a Twitter page where they constantly just posted nudes of themselves with different Pokemon.
I remember that. I think I remember you showing me that, and I don't remember asking to see that.
I'm never going to show
Which
you.
I never.
I will
get
never
to
show you
have a
anything that you
choice.
ask to see.
Yeah, I never got.
I
a
will
choice.
only show you things that
Yeah.
you need to see.
But AR, I think what people and it's this whole entire topic is that people what they expect it to be and how fast technology can keep up with those expectations. Because I think people
If you
think,
ask a certain area director, it's the bee's knees.
well, no, but I'm saying I think people want AR to be like in every kind of sci-fi or like where you get like a computer genius in a lab and he's just taking like Iron Man is one.
Yeah.
Where he takes like something from like his computer, picks it with his hand and throws it like on the wall and then it's like, okay, this is what you wanted to go on the wall. Now it's bigger and it's a interactive computer screen.
right.
I think that's what people think AR should be. But when they see like, okay, well, your phone can use its camera to put a Pokemon on your bag over there. They're like, why do I give a shit? This doesn't really help me.
yeah.
Where it's like, I can eventually see it being like an Alexa unit or the Google Home or whatever, like shooting out like just LED or not LED, but like a bunch of like holograms or something. And then it's like, that's AR because it augments it turns your living room into your computer space.
And I think that's
you
what they were
can
trying
put
to
notes
do.
on
I mean, if
things and
you've
stuff.
seen like the last couple like Apple keynotes when
Yeah.
they're like displaying
They're
their new
eventually getting
operating
to it.
system, they're trying to do that. They're trying to be like, oh look, you can like make your living room table like a whole battlefield. I'm like,
Which
my
is-
living room table is already a battlefield
Yeah.
because I don't fucking clean it. I don't need to sit here and defend dungeons and
Yeah.
castles and shit.
I
Like,
could already create a fort with what's on top
yeah,
of it.
it's literally just barbecue sauce packets. Like, just
And I think out of both of these, AR is going to be more. It's going to die in gaming, but it's going to be super popular in like the workplace or
Yeah.
like in productivity. It's just like here's this thing that you can have in your home that'll remind you. Like first, they're going to start with your Alexa having a hologram of the time, or it's like, hey,
yeah.
show me something. Like, hey, here's
Like at a staff
your
meeting, like
notebook.
here's our quarterly. I can
Put
see
something
stuff like
on the
that.
wall over there. I'm going to touch
for
it
like
because
presentation
there
aspect.
is
sure.
already technology to put something that's on your tablet. You swipe it and it goes to your TV.
right.
That's a thing already.
Yeah,
Which I think they're just trying to eliminate screens and then just make it your outside your reality is being augmented by whatever the device is.
right.
Which sounds dope, but I don't think that really goes to gaming. I think it's really hard to make that a popular thing in gaming, short of like it's all we have now. Because Pokemon Go is so successful, and so was
And
Harry Potter on a phone.
the Wizards.
I don't like
yeah.
Harry Potter, so that's why
But I mean, still, both of those games like
we're popular.
Pokemon is
because
and
nobody
Pokemon
has
still
seen anything like that.
right, and people still play Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
like what 3 years now after
Yeah.
release.
And
That's gonna be the same with the Harry Potter game.
Yeah.
Like 3 years from now, when the hype dies down, which it kind of already has, but
still, like it's still like
Yeah,
I know
you're
people
gonna
that
have a
play
market,
it every
yeah.
day, and everywhere they go, they're just like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to catch Pokemon.
they're gonna make like a Star Wars version of it. That
Which fuck.
same
they're
thing.
gonna
It's
get
gonna get
me.
super popular,
If
and
they
then it's
do
gonna
that,
die down.
God
But
damn you.
you know,
They're gonna get me too.
it's the demographic
But
that
yeah,
you.
and it's we don't have anything else like it.
Yeah.
But when it becomes like technology advances and now it's like, okay, well you can project all this shit on your living room. I don't want to play a game like that in my living room.
Right.
I just want to play a game, like, because then it's all this shit I got to worry about. It's like, okay, well, this laser is putting a laser on my bag, which
He's
is
got
there,
freaking lasers.
and then it's like messing it up. Like, I can't have a perfect room. Like, if I can get to the point where I have Iron Man's computer, where it's just like I can throw virtual reality stuff everywhere, or augmented reality, sorry, just everywhere, and then it's just like,
Virtual
there you
augmented
go,
battle
Royale.
royality.
And when
That's the episode title.
there you go. When you can have that, just like I can take whatever on my laptop and then just like grab it and throw it onto my wall just because I want to look at it bigger on a wall.
Right.
Like, sign me the hell up.
Well, and they're
but I
starting
don't think
to-
I can picture me playing a game that way.
Yeah.
Which is where VR comes in, which hopefully at the point they are, while AR is doing that, VR is like, okay, well, now no wires. It's like minimal of a headset. And then you're like right in, you don't even need controllers. You don't need nothing. You put on this like pair of glasses and it does the same. And then eventually they get rid of the glasses, which is then we're at Black Mirror with that device that goes in your temple that just goes into your brain. And then you just pass out for an hour and just say,
And then-
oh yeah, go in the game.
And then we can play Striking
And then
Vipers.
we can make out in a karate game. Eventually. Like,
Are we wrapping up soon here?
no,
No?
we can keep going.
I just want to play some Striking Vipers. That's all I'm asking.
Dibs on the dude. He's ripped.
I don't care, man.
Fine.
So we're playing Striking Vipers. You heard it here first, folks.
But I mean, what I think is going to happen is that first game studio, like Bethesda's doing it, game studios are going to be like, okay, let's try it. Let's put our game in a VR. And then like people are going to want to have another like, I don't need another reason to buy Skyrim, but if it's like, hey, I can actually look around Skyrim and kind of be in it, fine. You might have gotten me. But then it's like they're going to start making like super big titles for it, which this Medal of Honor one is huge. So is Iron Man. These are like huge names and huge titles and big franchises that are being put and specifically made for VR, where it's like, hey, we're putting this in a VR game. If you want this, you got to buy the VR set. Otherwise, you don't get a Medal of Honor game. Like, that's crazy. Like if I don't feel like burning my corneas playing VR, I'll just play Doom. I don't need Doom VR. Because right now, what those games are is you can just look. You can't do anything with VR other than look. It's not like you're the one aiming, I don't think. It might be. You might be able to aim using the controllers. But I'm saying like the options are limited. I'm not going to buy these the circular disc treadmill and then like run on that shit. And the plastic gun controller that it's like it'll track your gun. I don't want to do that. Like, if I'm super wealthy and then just have that in my living room, sure, I'm going to show it off to people and then they're going to try it and think it's really cool. But and then also I can see it eventually being more of a movie experience than a gaming experience. VR. Like like IMAX. Like you're sitting in a chair and that's how you're watching the movie. You're in the movie.
Yeah.
Because then it requires zero controllers, zero anything.
You're just experiencing it.
You can, like, if Saving Private Ryan was a movie in VR, like, hell yeah. I just sit there and just watch all this shit happen. And I can look at different angles of it happening. Kind of like porn.
Kind of
like
porn.
VR porn, but like with a movie.
Like, whoa, who's this dude here?
Yeah. Like basically VR porn, but movies. Like, do that. Which they might already be doing. It's just I really think it's going towards party trick, gonna die out because nobody wants it and nobody can afford it. Instead of like this pivotal gaming technology that everybody's gonna want, unless it becomes this like super immersive experience. Because there's nothing. The real answer to this is there's nothing wrong with a controller and a TV. Like there's not a damn thing wrong with it.
Right.
That's why it's like I don't need the VR. If I was like, man,
it's a cool thing to be like, like I told you, like bring it to my house, I'll try it.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm gonna go out with my own money and be like,
$400.
I need to buy this.
Like,
is it 400?
I think PSVR is like $500-$600, depending on what you get. It's been out for a little bit, but now, well, PSVR is going to try to get rid of wires, and that's going to be even more expensive. And like you got to charge everything. It's a big hassle, and the reward is not there yet. Which I think once the reward is what people want and the price for that reward is not as high,
right?
People will flock to it and then like, oh, wow, like this is actually interesting. I enjoy this. It's not going to replace actual gaming. Absolutely not.
There's no chance in
Never,
hell.
ever is it
No.
going to replace because and that's
Even if we did get to that Black Mirror point where you can get into the game like real like that, no, fuck no.
the only way it will is if consoles stop. If it's all digital, if it's all streaming, VR can say, "Hey, you don't need a console anymore, but you can do all this shit on VR."
But companies like
you don't need
Microsoft
to
and
buy an
Sony are
Xbox
still
7 anymore.
companies like Microsoft and Sony are still going to find that way to make money to be like, hey, yeah, like we only make things on the Game Pass now. But
Yeah,
here, if you buy this Xbox, it lets you stream the Game Pass.
You don't need to. They're gonna. That's the interesting thing, and this is a whole nother topic. But they're making it like games as a service so much that they're gonna come like in 5 years and be like, hey, so you don't really need. Is your internet connection kind of bad sometimes? Like, are you getting some lag in between your games? Well,
we'll find out next month with Google Stadia.
We have a new entire thing for you. You can put this physical disc in there, and then you don't need to worry about internet connection because the system reads the game.
Wild.
I know. That's we're basically gonna come.
You don't even have to
circle.
download the game either.
I know. Like we're gonna come full circle because people are like, "Well, is your internet not that good?" Well, here's this new thing called you can just put it in. It's called a cartridge. You can just throw it in there. Like that's what it's gonna be. It's just all circular because people will buy shit and buy it and play it, which I do recommend trying VR. Anybody out there, try it or try AR. AR is an intro to the outside technology that gaming is using. You can download an app on your phone, which you have. Like, don't kid me. You have a smartphone. If you have a Razer, which props.
You sound like that dude with the Diablo for the mobile phones.
You guys don't have phones?
You guys don't have phones?
You have phones. I know you have phones. Otherwise, how else are you listening to us right now? Please don't tell me you're going to the Spotify website. Come on.
Web app.
Sorry. Web app.
Or the actual Spotify program.
Which, if you guys are on Spotify, make sure to follow us. If you are on
Hit
Apple
that
Podcasts,
follow.
hit Spotify or subscribe. Make sure to give us reviews and comments.
Tell me I smell good.
Well,
you
we
can
all
smell
both
me.
smell good.
My new hand soap smells really
It
good.
smells really good. It's
so good.
You should try bourbon. It's really good.
I think I'll pick that up.
It's
next.
really good.
I let
They have
Michelle
a
pick up
body
the hand
wash.
soaps, but
It's
I've been
dope.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll switch to that from Old Spice.
That's what I use. It's dope. But that's been our podcast for today. VR, AR, they're interesting.
Is this a short one, or do we also
It's
again
45 minutes.
So about par for the course.
Usually we're about an hour, but this one we're trying to get this one done.
It's been a while.
VR, and that's the thing. VR and AR are things that we try, but I mean, we're not made of money. We can't just like, hey, you can't rent a VR system. You can't like try the Oculus.
Yeah, you can.
So it's like, well, I'm either going to play it at a friend's house, or we're going to have it and get it as a gift, or we're not, or we're going to
tell
play
my friend to bring it,
or we're going to play Pokemon Go or Harry Potter Go, and just walk around the neighborhood for an hour.
Right.
Like that's the whole point of this thing, is that not everybody can have access to it. It's almost kind of like that's what the rich people play. I can't do that yet. I'm stuck paying like $60 for a game. Like that's already a lot. I can't spend a couple of $100 on a VR system that is going to get boring
in like
after
a week or two, and it's
a
just
week
going
or
to
two,
collect
and it's
dust
gonna
in my
sit there.
closet. That's a big reason why I haven't fucking purchased one.
And I'm not like,
because I know I'm going to play it for like a week or two, and then it's just going to, like, I regularly play my Xbox. I regularly play my PlayStation 4. I regularly
it's never
going to
replace that.
If I got a PlayStation VR, it would be like, oh, sweet. And then it's in this closet over here.
It's I think of it as like a Ferrari. It's like if I had a Ferrari and also my Kia Optima, I drive the Optima and keep the Ferrari nice, and then bring it out every once in a while because it's like I want to drive it a little bit.
It's summer. It's nice out. Yeah.
But if I only had the Ferrari, you betcha I need to go places. I'm driving it everywhere.
Right.
If I had consoles are the Optima. They're safe. They're like, you know what you're going to get from them. They're reliable. They're great.
They work.
But then the VR is the Ferrari. Nobody's taking a Ferrari out in the middle of Wisconsin's winter just to like every day drive it around.
I have seen somebody actually do
There
that.
is one guy, but he's weird.
I think he just doesn't care about how his Ferrari looks.
He's probably got
that might be the only car
Ferrari.
he has.
He's got another Ferrari.
Or that might be the only car he has.
So like it's a luxury at this point.
Yeah.
Whereas like nobody, I don't know, I'm not gonna fork $500 over for a VR set. Like I'm not that into it. There's not that many games that I'm into that.
Now, if it went for sale for like 100, 150,
maybe
I would buy it. I would.
Maybe.
If it was 150 or under, then fine. I have things that are $150 that are collecting dust.
But the thing, and this is my final point, the thing that VR reminds me of is all of those games. Remember those games that you used to plug the aux cables into your TV, or the, what are they, RCA cables into your TV? And it was just like, this is a paintball gun, or it's a deer hunter game.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's the game.
Yeah.
It's like you plug this plastic small gun into your TV,
and
and then it only plays one game. It plays Deer Hunter, and then you hunt deer using that controller, pointing at the TV, clicking at it. It's like, that's been around forever, and that's basically,
they still sell that at like 7 Mile
what
Fair.
VR is,
Yeah.
to me at least. It's like you plug this thing in, and then it's you're interacting with what's going on. You're not just pressing buttons on a controller, which is, I mean, those things have been out for forever, and yes, we have moved on and we are advancing far from that, but it's not
They still
that
sell
far
those.
from that.
They still sell those
Yeah.
things, and people still buy them.
Yeah, because it's neat. It's a party trick. Ultimately, it's a cool, fun little thing.
Like, hey, we're all hanging out, drinking. Who wants to puke on my couch?
There you go. Like, it's that's what it is, until it gets like groundbreaking. Which, that first world problems. We are in a world where we can almost be in a game, and we're like, well, yeah, but we're not actually in it. Like, and that's
Right.
where we're being picky about. And we are going to be picky, just because it's like, you're not better than consoles. So until you
Never
are,
will be.
and until consoles don't exist and we don't need them anymore, then yeah, I'm not gonna,
We'll always need
VR is gonna
consoles.
be second fiddle or fifth fiddle at this point.
We'll always need consoles.
So that's our podcast for today. Board Certified Gaming Podcast. Check us out: Spotify,
BCG.
Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Tell your friends. Subscribe.
Tell your
follow,
wife.
Tell your wife. Yeah, she misses you, man.
Go home.
I mean,
What are you doing?
What? Quit listening to our podcast in your car and go
just
talk to your wife.
Make love.
Go buy her a card at Hallmark.
Just-
Walgreens. Hallmark doesn't even have stores anymore.
No, they do.
They do?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
there is actually
Go
one in
Hallmark.
Franklin.
Go buy a
Yep.
card. They sell roses at Walgreens for
Yep.
like $2.
Get yourself some prophylactics.
There you go.
Unless if you're snipped,
Well, then don't worry about it.
then just fuck her
And
gently.
then, yeah. So, like, don't listen to us.
No,
What the
put
hell?
us on in the background
I mean, we
right
got
now. Here,
smooth enough voices.
let's put this on towards the end. Smooth sensation going on here. You are about to be entered.
I've
by
enjoyed
your
this time
husband.
together.
It's like that episode of The Office where it's like, hello, you are a woman that Michael Scott has seduced. And he is about to enter you. It's like, Dwight, what the fuck is this?
But we hope you guys enjoy this. Make sure to check out every other account we have. If you've gotten this far and you've actually like listened to this whole thing and
Thanks.
gotten here, props.
Yeah.
Like, we appreciate the hell out of you.
We don't even listen to our own podcast.
I do.
I do.
In the car.
I didn't want to admit that though.
Well, we're supposed
We have to seem humble.
No, but we have to listen to our own stuff. Okay,
It's too late now. It's already on. It's already on record.
They
If you
found
edit
it.
it,
You
they're
got
just gonna.
us.
Damn it!
But we appreciate everybody who listens at all.
I have to go figure out what my cats are
yeah,
staring
he's
at
got
each
a
other while
cat,
they
so he's
piss.
got to figure this out.
It's like I think Chewy wants to make sure that she doesn't like soak into the litter.
I mean, if she's looking out for her, then that's different than if she's just like, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck with you. You're on the shitter."
I don't know, but it's like Chewy, just let her
Just
poop.
let her poop. Jeez. But we are gonna try to continue to be regular with this. We're gonna take a probiotic and then try to be regular.
We picked up some. She had to go to American Eagle to get
Ew.
pants,
Ew.
whatever, and so
American
CBD
Eagle.
CBD is making like this big wave. You
Who?
know now CBD. So it's like cannabinoid or whatever it's
Oh,
pronounced. Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah.
So they sell
hemp oil or whatever it is.
something like that, but they sell that shit at American Eagle. Like, so they have one for like sleep and one for like energy. And I was like, fuck it. Like, let's just try it. Like, what's the worst that happens? We lost $15. Like,
yeah.
boo fucking
work?
who? Jesus Christ. So there's two ways that you can apply this thing. You can either kind of just take like a deep like sniff, or you can apply it to like pressure points.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we're in the car, and Michelle just fucking lathers that shit on. And I'm like,
And she's out.
okay. No, we took the energized one.
Oh.
She
you're
bought
hyper.
the lotion for sleeping for like nighttime because she has like difficulties falling asleep sometimes. Yeah, so she like fucking just. I'm like, can I drive? Like, I'll I'm not tired right now. I want to put this on.
Secondhand CBD.
Yeah, I want to put this on when I'm tired. Like I still have coffee. Yeah. Within 30 minutes, I was just kind of like, so we going for a run or
where can we go?
Yeah, no, it works. It was super good. So
which we were supposed to end the podcast, but here CBD oil, try it out.
Just advocating for it. Go to your local American Eagle
Sponsor
and buy
us.
one of those.
We'll plug the product. Go ahead. But honestly, if you've ever gotten this far, we appreciate you.
We do.
We'll try to be regular and try to get more podcasts.
We'll keep going further and further for you until you tell us to stop.
Check us out: Twitch, Twitter, Instagram,
Facebook.
Podcast. We should start a Facebook.
I don't really want to,
but
we probably should.
Natural.
Sure.
We should start one. We will. We'll get there.
Maybe we'll get a PO box.
Yeah, we should get a PO box.
I'll dox.
If you want to send fan mail,
I'll dox my address on here.
If you want to send fan mail, we should start a PO box. But comment
the
on
one
these.
fan mail we get is like my mom is just like, keep up the good work, guys.
Or a bag of poop at our house, flaming poop. But
that would be a fire hazard in my apartment.
Well, yeah, it'd be on the first floor. You wouldn't get it.
It just burns because there's no doorbell.
Yeah. But we will see you guys some other time. Have a good one.
Peace.
Later.